Hello Sanity Seekers, welcome to Out of the Blue, where all the art's a little bit out of the blue and hopefully it stops you from being a little bit blue. My daughter and I have recently been watching Lethal Company playthrough by Markipliar Bob Wade, and we find it quite hilarious. So we're a little bit inspired to make a little miniature from Lethal Company. Today I'm going to be doing the 2 computers and the recharge station, and we'll continue doing a few more videos and eventually get a nice little miniature of the ship and the people. I hope you enjoy this. It is the first time that I have actively tried to copy something rather than just have an original. I found it harder than I expected. So please be kind. It's not going to be perfect, but it is going to be fun. And it's pretty close. It's not too shabby. I'm starting off with the blocky, big, chunky computer there at the back. And what I've done is worked out the shape that I want to use, times it by 2, and eyeball the size I would like it to be. And I'm going to box it out with a pretty cool little technique that I would take notice of, because I think it'll come in useful for you some stage to make basically any shape that you want to. I've got my shape. I'm marking out each length and making sure that I've got enough for the cardboard to fold around it. This by turning and making sure I've got each size. You don't have to measure anything if you don't want to. You can just do it this way and easily get a boxed out shape of your choice. When I've finished marking it, I'll cut it and I will score each line, making sure just to go through the top layer of cardboard and not through both, because otherwise that's cutting, not scoring, right? And bend it into shape. You may notice some Darth Vader noises in the background. That is because I had an infection and I couldn't breathe real well, so I apologise for that. Unless you love Darth Vader, in which case enjoy. I'm making a little spacer here to hold everything in place while I fold it around and glue. And I will also use some painter's tape because I think it's better than masking tape. It comes off easier and it sticks well. And that will hold everything in place while it dries. This is Liquitex acrylic ink. It's silver, it's fabulous, I highly recommend it. It's got a beautiful metallic finish, I guess. And yeah, I used it a lot in this project. It's actually the first time I'd used it at all, and I was pretty thrilled with the result. I've got my basic shape, and what I need to do now is make a little the computer pad thing that goes down on the board. That's a liquid chrome that has a stunning finish, is fantastic for mirrors. I use it an awful lot. Here I'm using it for underneath the computer screen to give it a bit more of a glow and make it look more computery. I'm using a pencil just to make an indent and shape the computer for more detail. Placing a chord in shape, like as similar as I can to the game. I'm not happy with the gems that I've got on there. I will replace those with smaller ones so it doesn't look so kiddie. I'm going to take off some of the shine so it looks more like computer keys than gems. And with some alcohol ink, I'm going to colour the screen that already has the chrome finish on it, and that will give it a beautiful glow. I've got some liquid latex that I'm putting into the cracks to hide some of the cardboard corrugation in between the folds. And that is our first little computer. And now for the second computer. This one has quite a few screens on it and it's a little more complicated. And I'm using some matchstick type wood to box it out and make my initial table. First I need to glue a frame to the bottom of the table, and then that will help hold in the legs and box it out so it looks more like an actual table. And after it's glued, I will paint and work on the next bit. On the table I was using a grey, on the screens I'm using a silver, I believe. Yep, that's definitely silver. With ink pad and a variation of colours I'm using greens to do the actual screen, and then doing details with the Posca pen to make it look like writing and maths. I need to glue the screen to the frame of the screen, and that gives us our two large screens. We need to glue the initial screen to our table, and I want it to be on a bit of an angle like it is on the game, so I'll put a little stick underneath it so it can dry at an angle. I've eyeballed the angle from the photo, the reference photo that I showed just earlier. And that will get us the second table to the second screen, which attaches to the initial table. may notice that I have a stick attached to that one as well, and that will help me join. And then I will do another piece of cardboard just to attach the bottoms of the two tables. Hope you enjoyed those sound effects. I'm getting quite good at my editing. I need to put some details on the desk of the computer screen. With that little piece of plastic that I cut, I'll make a little base for a gear stick, which I'm using a dress pin to create. I'll colour the top black instead of that pretty pearl and cut off the bottom of the pin sticking through the desk. Using a series of little gems and whatnot that I had lying around, I've tried to be as accurate as I can for a miniature to get it like the game, and I've got all my details ready to go. Now I need to make the tiny screens that sit above the big screens, so I need to cut some little squares and start painting and putting the details on. I've got my silver ink for a start to make the screen, to make the frame of the screen, and also give me some shine behind the ink for the detail. Instead of using a brush, I'm just using a stylus because I feel that gave me a bit more accuracy. Made it a little bit easier to push the ink around. And again, with the Posca white, I'm putting some details in for writing. A matchstick will help place them together and help me mount it to the top of the other screens. And after that's dried, we can attach. I'll call that one done, and then we can move to the next project, which is the charging station. No, share them with Elsie. Did you? Now finally for the charging station. I've drawn and I'm about to cut out the shape that I need for the cover, which I will do carefully. I've just got cardboard for the cover, which is what this is, and then another piece of cardboard to go underneath, and that will give me my layer. In the game, it's kind of khaki kind of coloured, so I've got green and yellow, and I will smoosh the colours until I've got the type that I want. I'm using acrylic pens to paint. some a brown pad to give myself the army look. I need to glue the top to the bottom, obviously. And then I've got a sticky gem to put in the middle. With a length of copper wire, I'm going to turn it around and around for a spiral and leaving a space in the middle for the gem to come through. And I'll stick that over the top. This is some electricity wire that I thought worked well for the top of the charging station. And I'm just turning it and gluing it on. I'm also scoring one side so I can have a nice, neat corner. Just like we do with the cardboard. I've generally used the tacky glue all throughout these projects and generally always do, and sometimes I use the super glue, but mostly it's the tacky glue. Now just to glue it in place on the wall, and that's our projects for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you feel so inclined, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video where I will do some more of Lethal Company miniatures. Stay sane, peeps. Bye.